the KUSI News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Sandra Moss.
And I'm Alan Denton. Thanks for joining us tonight. The highest court in the land will take up the issue of gay marriage. Today, the country learned that the U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments involving two cases dealing with same-sex marriage, including California's Proposition 8. KUSI's John Soderman is here now with our story. John?
Thanks, Alan. You can bet the entire country, if not the world, will be watching to see what the Supreme Court does.
Supreme Court justices announced they will hear the appeal of a ruling that struck down Proposition 8, California's measure that bans same-sex marriages. But that's not all justices will hear arguments on. They'll also take up the Federal Defense of Marriage Act, also known as DOMA, a law that prohibits the federal government from recognizing all same-sex marriages. An appeals court had said earlier the law violates equal protection rights of gays and lesbians. And as far as Proposition 8 goes, it was ruled unconstitutional by a federal appeals court last February. And as far as the legal significance of Friday's Supreme Court announcements?
This is a potentially very big deal. The Supreme Court has decided for the first time to enter the same-sex marriage debate.
Local gay rights advocates say Friday's announcements are huge, as in one of the most significant civil rights cases to reach the Supreme Court since Brown versus Board of Education. However, it is important to remember, Proposition 8 was approved by California voters in 2008, only to be overturned in the courts.
The atmosphere has changed dramatically. We know that President Barack Obama has come out in favor of marriage equality, which was significant, the first American president to do so. Just this last November, a few weeks ago, 3 states passed marriage equality on the ballot by the voters for the first time. It's never happened before, 3 states. And another 4th state turned down a proposition that was very similar to Prop 8, saying we don't want to go down that road and put in our Constitution outlawing marriage equality.
Meantime, Professor McGowan tells KUSI expect one Supreme Court justice in particular to play a key role if justices actually end up making rulings in the 2 cases.
Justice Kennedy, as he often is the swing vote. And Justice Kennedy wrote the 2 major opinions expanding rights for gay men and lesbians, written in the last 20 years. I do not think that he wants to write an opinion that says that gay men and lesbians have no rights under the Constitution to get married.
And justices could issue rulings by late June. In the newsroom, John Soderman, KUSI News.